Welcome, everybody, to the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful downtown Siloam Springs, Arkansas. I'm your host, Dennis. Today, we're going to take your mind off of the baseball work stoppage caused by whoever it's caused by. We don't really care. We just want baseball. So I'm going to take your mind off of that by playing a baseball game today between two teams that are 100 years apart. I'm going to take a team from before 1900 and a team from 2010 to the present day, retired guys, okay? I call it the Sabermetrics against the dawn of baseball. So it should be a pretty interesting game. Hope you enjoy it, and kick back, relax, grab some popcorn, go get a cold one, enjoy the afternoon while I bring you a game between the pre-1900 dawn of baseball team and the current day Sabermetrics, just retired guys. Once again, coming live from the Cincinnati Razorback Room, Star Power Baseball, this is your host, Dennis. Welcome, my friends. Here we go. We're going to start the game off right now between the pre-1900 dinosaurs and the Sabermetric guys. I'm going to be reaching back and forth to get my mouse. I think I'll leave it up here. What I want to do is show you these two teams here. Let's see, I got a Word doc right here. There's one. These are the pre-1900s. I'm going to move that over here so you can see it a little better. Show you who these guys are. And you'll see them during the game anyway, but I'll make it where you can really see them now. These are the guys that I'm going to be using. You can see the cards are awesome. You know that. Those cards are fantastic. Tommy Tucker, Billy Nash, Joe Quinn. That's first, second, short, third catcher, and Tom Brown in the outfield. Kinslow's your catcher. Mike Griffin, Tiernon, and Wood are your outfielders. Corcoran, McMahon, and O'Day are your pitchers. Each team only has 12 guys, so there's only 3 pitchers on each team. And I'm going to start Larry Corcoran on these guys. Now for the other team over here, I'm going to use, these are your Sabermetric guys. I've got, let's move that down just a tad there. Got Ryan Howard, Dustin Pedroia, Ruben Tejada, Casey McGehee, that's your infield. Soto behind the plate. Ryan Braun, Andre Ethier, Nick Swisher. I love that Nick Swisher card. Isn't that awesome? That's just a beautiful card. Dan Herron, Francisco Liriano, and Jonathan Papelbon are your other players. So we will now put this back. Well, let's shrink it down a tad so that I can put it back over here like I do. Let's go with it here. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff I got to do here. Okay, now up in this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the rule book up on that side, okay? Just in case we need to go anywhere. There's your pitching key, and I've also got the batting key right there. And did I flip that? I did, didn't I? Well, let's take that and get it back to the right way. Let's go to display, capture, transform it to flip vertical. No, I guess I had it right. Display, capture, transform, flip vertical. There you go. Okay, so it's correct. So there's your batting key, and there's your pitching key. Okay. Aha. That's what's wrong. Need to flip that horizontal. There we go. Now it's correct. Just have to mess with it a little bit. All right, now we're all set up and we're ready to play the game. I am not going to be using injuries in this game since I only have 12 guys. I'll still use that card if I need to, and it's now been transformed into the event card using the 1 through 12s. Also, since I'm now facing the camera, which I haven't been in the past, what's cool is I can now look at it and I'll be using the results of the screen so that whatever you see is what it's going to be. The pre-1900s will be the home team over here, the sabermetric team over here, the new upstarts will be the visitors team over here. Okay, and let's get underway. We're in the top of the first inning. You always have to announce your batter first. You flip him over. It's Ruben Tejada. He's a 2-1-3. Sack 2, 1-3 runner. Position your defense. Infield will be back. The one problem that the pre-1900s have is on their shortstop. He's a 51. Okay, their second baseman's a 52, so he's fine. Tejada's a 43, and Pedroia's a 53, so we're good there. But anytime the ball is a 6 hit against the pre-1900s, we'll spin an error spin first and then a location spin second with nobody on base. With people on base, we'll spin a location spin on a 6. If it lands on the shortstop, dude, that's base hit because they're R1. They're an R1 here at shortstop, so we can get some hits that way. So anyway, infield will be back at first and third. Here's the opening spin, first inning. Here we go. That pitch lands on the Z. That's a wild pitch. What that means is if the batter strikes out, since nobody's on base, if the batter strikes out on number 10, then he will advance to first base on the wild pitch. Tejada spins and spins a 10. So we have a strikeout of Tejada, first of the game, but he's on first base on a wild pitch. Okay, so our catcher fails to make the play. You take a pip off of him, he's down to 4. Tejada is a 1-3. He'll be on first base. And this game, guys, is underway. These cards that I'm using are brand new. They're just released last week. I'm using the photo quality. I think you can see it real well like this here. Let's see, there you go. It's a photo quality card. It looks really good underneath here. I got Pedroia up. He's a sack 135 runner. We're going to hold the runner on first. We're going to say spin the pitcher. We're not going to do anything fancy. The sabermetric team doesn't do a lot of running. Corcoran spins an F. That's a fly ball. I don't need to spin an error spin because there's a runner on base. I really don't need to spin a location spin because he's not going to be running anywhere. So that is 1 out. Okay, that brings up Ryan Braun. +1, sack 045 runner. They'll hold the runner at first. Spin the pitcher. Corcoran spins. A minus home run, as you can see there. Spins the Braun, and that's a strikeout. Braun does have a respin, but you cannot respin a strikeout. And so we have 2 outs. That brings up Andre Ethier hitting in the cleanup spot. He's a 0-1-1. We're going to do what I call a full count hit and run. I grab the hit and run card, put it in the slot. If it lands on batter misses pitch, it's a strikeout. Anywhere else, I spin the pitcher on the full count. And it lands on D. If I wasn't doing a full count, that would be a double play, but I'm doing a full count, so all that means is spin the pitcher. Spin the pitcher. He spins a home run minus. Andre Ethier spins a 13. That is a single. Let me do something real quick here. I want to get that in the picture, boys. There we go. So that's a single. We're going to see where it's to. It's an anywhere single, a 13. It's hit the center field. I have a 5-5 out there in center field. They're not going to try to go to third with 2 outs. They'll stop him at first. Takes him down to 9 pips. Andre Ethier is a 1-1 base runner, and that's a single for Ethier. We have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And he was running. He gets 2 bases. I'm sorry. He gets 2 bases. I have the hit and run on. He's going on the pitch. So he gains 2 bases. Way to go. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. Little voice in the sky there. First and third, hold the runner. Ryan Howard's up. Spin the pitcher. Spinning Corcoran. Corcoran spins a B. Ryan Howard spinning a 10. So Corcoran, who has a K minus, if you look at that, he's got a K minus on his card, strikes out the side. And you're going to see that with this sabermetric team. They're going to strike out quite a bit. That's what they do. That's the new way the game's played. No runs, a hit, 2 runners left. End of a half inning, no score. Up comes Ed McKean, sack 345 plus. Okay? The infield's going to move in at first and third. You got to look at Howard. He's a 23. And the third baseman is McGehee. He's a 3-1. So not real good defense on the corners. You got a great pitcher over there with Danny Herron. You know, he's really, really good. So I think what I'm going to try to do right off the bat, I'm going to try to lay the ball down. So we pull out the drag bunt card. He's a sack 345 plus. Spin the drag bunt card, and it spins and it lands on sack 3. He is a sack 3. So now we spin it again, and we take the result of the inner circle. The inner circle lands on a 3B53. A 3B53, he is not. He gets his choice between S, the green S, the red D, with a red O, which is an out or a single. McKean will take the single. So right off the bat, you've got some running on with the pre-1900 team. Ed McKean hits a single, infield hit. Herron gets 1 pip removed. We have a runner on first base with nobody out. You can see here the catcher is Giovanni Soto. He's a 4-2 catcher. So stealing bases is probably something I'm going to do pretty good. You know, I think I'll get it over pretty well if I want to try that. My next batter is a 355 plus with a runner on first. They're going to hold the runner. They're going to be in at third base. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm stealing second with a 45 plus. I'm going for it. This team right here needs to steal. It's the outer ring. Spin the outer ring, and he is out. That's right there, obvious, isn't it? Boom. Caught him stealing. Giovanni Soto throws out a base runner right off the bat. That'll give Herron back a pip. Look at that, man. Tell me that isn't cool. Gets a pip back, and you have strike 1. Now, the question comes up, can I spin the drag bunt card? The answer is definitely yes, because it hasn't been spun yet. I can do it. Do I want to spin the drag bunt card with the infield in? I don't. So I'm going to spin Danny Herron. He spins a B. George Wood spins a 4. That's a fly ball. Spinning the error spin. It does not land on the error, so that is 2 out. 2 away. Let's change this spinner up because it seems to be stopping quickly. Check it out now. Seems still to be. Let's pull that one up a little too. Okay, still stopping quick. How about that? That's better. Okay, now we got Mike Tiernon up. He's a sack 255 plus. Infield's in at the corners. You can see this team makes you bring it in. This is old school baseball. Anybody can put the ball on the ground. Anybody can bunt. So Herron's going to pitch and gets a B. Almost got the K. Spinning Tiernon. Tiernon spins a 12. That's a ground ball. Spinning the ground ball error spin. It is not an error, so that is 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no runs, one hit, nobody left on base after the caught stealing, no score after one. Nick Swisher, don't you love that card, guys? Isn't that just amazing? That's a pretty awesome card. Come on. That card's really cool looking. Yeah, I'm going to shrink me down just a tad. There you go. Okay, so Nick Swisher's up. Don't think he's a threat to bunt. He's a 0, bats both, so he gets all the lines. Corcoran spins. A G, location or error spin. It is not an error, so that's one out. Swisher grounds out. Next up, BJ Upton. Upton gets a B. He is also a right-handed batter, but he's only a sack one, so the infield's back. Not a threat to bunt. Upton spins, strikes out. Strikeout number 4 for Larry Corcoran. That brings up Casey McGehee. McGehee is a 0-0-0, third baseman. Spins, and you get a minus home run. McGehee, put my spinner back on. Sometimes they slip a little bit. Spinning McGehee, and he spins a 13. That's a single. So Casey McGehee gets a base hit. Second hit of the game for the Sabermetric squad. Take a pip off here. McGeehee's a 0-0. I use the number 6 for zeros because it kind of looks like a 0. Okay, that brings up Giovanni Soto. Soto is a 0-0-0. He is my number 9 hole hitter. I would normally full count hit and run, but since it's the 9 hole hitter, I don't want to lead off if he strikes out. Well, he can't strike. No, I'm going to do that because if he strikes out, I can lead off with the leadoff hitter. So I'm going to go full count hit and run. Anything the batter misses pitch, I spin the pitcher. I spin this, and I get anything but a batter misses pitch, so I get to spin the pitcher. Spinning Corcoran. Corcoran spins a G, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. If there was nobody on base, I would spin an error spin. But since there are runners on base, we don't care. So that's 3 outs. No score after 1.5. That brings up Tom Brown. Okay, look at the back of his card. He's a 355 plus. These guys are bad news, man. I love this team. This is my kind of game right here where I get to use that card. Bring him in at the corners. I'm going to drag bunt. I don't want Heron spinning that much. Drag and bunt, here we go. Bring this down a little bit. Drag bunt. That's a sack 1. I get my choice between foul ball or out. We're going to take a foul ball, spin the pitcher. Spinning Dan Heron. He spins a B. Tom Brown spins a 10. That's a strikeout. 1 up, 1 down. That brings up Billy Nash, the 3rd baseman, is a 243, and they're going to bring in the 3rd baseman instead of both of them. No, they're going to bring both of them. Why not? Bring them both in. Bring them both in. If the, that way, if he gets a 6 or a 12, a 2 or a 12, you get to see if it's there and gets by him and all that stuff. Nash is not going to try to drag bunt, spin Heron. Heron goes back and spins that big nasty K. 2 away. That brings up Tommy Tucker. Tommy Tucker is a 1, bats both 44 first baseman. And they're going to bring nobody in. They're going to play normal depth. Tucker is a sack 1, doesn't want to try it. Spinning Dan Heron. Heron spins a BZ line. He's a bats both. He'll take the Z. That means a wild pitch. That means if he strikes out, he gets first base on the wild pitch. Spinning Tommy Tucker. He spins an 8. That's a fly ball. Location or an error spin. There is no error. And that is 3 up and 3 down. Okay, a lot of action for no score, huh? Okay, top of the order up, Ruben Tejada, 2-1-3, nobody nowhere. Going to spin the pitcher. Spinning Corcoran, he's a B. Spinning Tejada, that is a 14. That's an infield pop-up. That's routine. I don't spin an error spin on an infield pop-up. Corcoran spins. Oh, by the way, we got Dustin Pedroia, no bunt threat, B. Sorry, I didn't tell you. He walks. That's a 9. First walk in the game. Take a pip off. Pedroia's fast. He's a 35. On first base, that brings up Ryan Braun. Braun's the batter. They'll hold Pedroia. He's going to let it go, ride it out. Corcoran spins a minus home run. Spinning Ryan Braun, and he spins a 10. It's the second time Braun's gone down on strike. Strikeout number 5 for Corcoran. That's the second out in the inning. That brings up Andre Ethier. They're going to do the full count hit and run. Spinning the full count hit and run. Batter misses pitch. That is strike 3. Strikeout number 6. Ethier goes down by the wayside, and we have no score after 2.5. That brings up number 7 hitter. You know, I made a mistake. Billy Nash went down. I skipped a guy. They stuck together. Tommy Tucker's up now. He's a 144. Spin the pitcher. That's a strikeout. Third strikeout for Danny Herron. And that brings up Joe Quinn. He's a 342 at second base. Bled over into the 20th century as 1901. But hey, I like it. He was the first player from Australia. Here we go. Spinning him. Infield's in at the corners. That is a B. Spinning the batter. That's a 7. That's a single. Herron will not use his respin yet. Second hit given up by Herron. He's a 42 base runner. Brings up the number 9 hitter, catcher Tom Kinslow. He's a sack 121. Died of tuberculosis at the age of 35. Love my little splurge at the bottom of the cards. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, you got Herron up with 1 respin, 6 pips left. And pitching to Kinslow. They're going to do a legitimate hit and run, holding the runner at first. This goes by the hit and run rule. F is a foul ball. Spin the pitcher. The batter run or the runner holds. That's a B from Herron. Kinslow spins. Spins an 8. That's a fly ball out. 2 outs. Brings up the leadoff hitter, shortstop Ed McKean. McKean is a 345 plus. They're going to play in at both corners, and they're going to do a bases loaded hit and run, or excuse me, a full count hit and run. Did not land on batter misses pitch, so you're running. Spin the pitcher. You get a walk minus. By the way, this is a brand new game board. I just made it 2 days ago. Ed McKean spins and spins a, let's look and see what it is. That's an 8-9 line. He bats right, he throws right. Okay. They're not going to use the respin yet. That's an 8. Then we're going to take the 8, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. No runs, a hit, runner left on base. At the end of 3, there's no score. All right, you got the bruiser up. Ryan Howard, infield's way back. Corcoran spins. A G, is that a G? Let me look there. Yeah, that's a G. Ground ball. Howard will not use a respin. Spinning the ground ball error spin. Not an error. That's 1 out. If you want to know where it is, then you spin a location spin. I really don't care. Okay? Next, Smiley Swisher. Back for the infield, spin the pitcher. Another G, ground ball spin, error spin. That is not an error, that is 2 away. Spinning Corcoran against B.J. Upton, not a bunt threat. Walk minus. If he walks, you get to respin it. He walks, is that a 9? No, that's on the 10. Look at that, you got a 10 on that. So that's a K. You do not get to respin a K, boys. Strikeout number 7 for Corcoran. And that's the end of the 4th for the sabermetric bunch. Okay. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We got Mike Griffin, the center fielder. He's a 355 plus, both in at first and third. Spinning the pitcher. A Z, that's a wild pitch. Is that correct? Yes, that's a wild pitch. Let's see what happens here. That's a 12. That's a ground ball. He is a left-handed batter, so it's an opposite ground ball to the second base or the shortstop or the third baseman. Both are in. If the ball lands on third base, that space right there, this is a base hit. Spinning it. It did not. Well, that's the error spin. First you do an error spin. I'm sorry, I got out of order. Error spin first, not an error. Now your location spin. Still didn't land on it, so that is an out. 1 away. Brings up George Wood. He's a 245, both in again. Spinning Danny Herron. B. Let's see what we got. Spinning George Wood. What do you got there? A line of an 8-3. He is a left-handed batter. Herron is a right-handed batter. He will take the 3, and you can't respin a 3. He could challenge the call on the liner call. You can do the challenge, but you can't respin. So they're going to allow the 3 to go. They're going to let it happen. And the 3 card, spin it. Comes out on a 1. The number 1 says the ball is hit between the outfielders. Spin the outfield card to determine the location. They collide, so we'll spin the outfield card to determine the location. The ball's hit right field, between right and center, up in this area here. The ball rolls to the wall. Spin the master 3 card, use the batter's S rating. If the batter is equal to or exceeds the result, he is safe at home with an inside the park homer. If it's lower than the result, the batter is safe at third. All base runners score. So, you got George Wood as an S4. So a 4, 3, 2, or 1, it's a home run. On a 5, it's a triple. Here we go. A 4, George Wood, home run dash around the bases, an inside the park home run. Here we go. So I call that an IPper. And that starts the scoring on a typical pre-1900 hit. How about that? That was cool. Inside the park home run. Bam. And a trip comes off of Danny Herron. And that brings up Mike Tiernon. There's Mike. I'll show you the card and then I'll flip it over and show you the back of it. He's a 255 plus. Infield's in at the corners. Herron spins. A B. So I can get another 3. I like that 3. That was pretty cool. Tiernon spins. A 9. That's a walk. And that's the first walk given up by Herron. He's a 55 plus. You can see that he's a 5.5 plus. So I put a 5 over here. Now I'm going to, this is the bottom of the 4th. I'm going to get up a pitcher over here for the sabermetric team. I'm going to get up Francisco Liriano. He's an S6 without a respin, but Herron's starting to find a little bit of trouble, so I'm putting my bullpen up. Here's my bullpen. You can see I use this card holder for a bullpen. I put it up above the pitching staff. I have a 55 plus on base and 1 out They're going to hold the runner. Let's see who's up. Tom Brown is up. 355 plus there. They're going to hold the runner, move in at third, and they're going to do a pitch out. Okay? They're going to, in fact, what they're going to do is just hold the runner, not be in at third, and do a pitch out. A pitch out, you can either try to steal. You can't bunt on a pitch out. You're not allowed to bunt. You can try to steal the base. If you do that, not only does your A rating drop 2 points for being held on, your S rating drops a point also. And your catcher rating, R rating goes up 1. So anyway, Tom Brown is going to say, okay, let's just spin the batter. Boom. You don't spin the pitcher, you just spin the batter. That's a single. Herron can use his respin or not. He's not going to. Let's see where the ball is to. The ball is hit to center field. They've got Upton out there in center field, and he's at 22. And with 1 out, they're going to attempt to take third base on Upton, taking the extra base. Upton is going to play safe, throw to second, so we now have runners on, look at this, first and third. A pip comes off a Herron, and Tom Brown is on with a single, and now you're beginning to see small ball at its best. Small ball at its best. Okay, I've got a runner on. I've got Billy Nash up, who's at 243. The infield will be in at the corners. They'll play back at second and short for the double play. And I'm going to steal second base with Tom Brown. I'm not going to do the double steal. I'm just stealing second base. He's a 53, being 50. Okay, he has to hold. H is a hold. He has to hold. As a 55 plus, he would be a 54. Drop 2 plus and then 1 would be a 4. Billy Nash is up. Infield's in at the corners back here. Spinning Herron. Herron strikes his butt out. Look at that, man. Just when you needed it, Danny. Just when you needed it, too. Bam. That is 2 away. Strikeout number 4 for Danny Herron. That brings up Tommy Tucker. Tucker's a switch hitter, a 144. Staying where they are. Spin the pit. Infield is back. Sack 1. Spinning Herron. B. Spinning Tommy Tucker. 7. That's a single. Herron's going to use his respin. Respin Tommy Tucker. 8 is a fly out. That is 3 up. That's 3 outs. But they do score 1. 1 run. So after 4 complete innings, it is 1-0. 1-0. Love this camera work, don't you? Isn't this fantastic? Having this, okay. Some fun stuff, man. There's some fun stuff. Okay. Casey McGehee is up. You can see there's no pinch hitting in this game. These are just 12-man teams. This is what you buy. They're $5, $6 if you want them on this fancy cardstock stuff. Okay. Larry Corcoran spinning to McGehee, who is no bunt threat. Corcoran spins. A G, spin the error spin. It is not an error. That is 1 out. Giovanni Soto, not a bunt threat. Spin the pitcher. That's a B. Spinning Giovanni Soto. What do you got there? 6, that's a ground ball up the middle. Now, remember, their shortstop is a 5-1. If it lands on the shortstop on the location spin, first we go error. It is not an error, is that right? Yes. Now, if it lands on the shortstop again, it's a base hit. Spinning the location spin, it does not, so that, if you'd have done it backwards, it would have been a base hit. But you got to follow the order of operation. You spin the error spin first, location spin second. That is not an error, that's an out. 2 away, and it brings up Tejada, 2-1-3. Another Z, that's how we started the game. He struck out and got on base on a wild pitch. He spins. A 12, that's a ground ball. Spinning the error spin, not an error, so that's 3 outs. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah, if you mess up the order of operation, guys, it can really hurt you. Herron is a 6-inning pitcher. We are in the bottom of the 5th, so Herron's not struggling with fatigue. He's out of respins, but he's not struggling with fatigue. That brings up Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn is the second baseman. He's a 342. They'll move the corners in. Spinning Herron. That looks like a G, spinning the error spin. Not an error. 1 away. The catcher, Tom Kinslow, not a threat to bunt. Back on the infield. Looks like we get a B from Danny. Spinning Tom Kinslow, and he spins an 8. That is a fly ball. Spinning the error spin, not an error. 2 down, and now Ed McKean. He is a threat to bunt and fields in at the corners. Say spin it. That's a B. We get a 2 or a 12, a 13 or a 7, we're happy. We get a 14's an infield pop-up. That is 3 up and 3 down. Nobody scores. Takes us to the 6th inning. Scores 1-0 in favor of the good guys over the bad guys. The old guys over the new guys. The rabbits over the rabbits over the turtle. The hare over the tortoise. How many more metaphorically crap can I come up with? All right. You got Dustin Pedroia, no threat to bunt. Corcoran spins. And is that an X? Yes, it is. That's a hit batter. You don't get to respin an X or a Z. That is a hit batter. Normally, I would use the injury card, but today we're not going to. So Pedroia takes his base, hit by a pitch. So you take a pip off of him. He's a 3-5. Pretty fast. They're going to have to hold him on for Ryan Braun. He's not, the catcher's a 23. They're going to do a standard stock hit and run. Braun is a strikeout threat, but Pedroia can steal the base. Here we go. And what do you get? You get a D. That's a double play. Fly ball over to here. Doubles him up back to first. Actually, we call it a KDP on this since there's only 1 runner on. Strike out, throw him out, double play. Okay, so strikeout number 8 for Corcoran. Put a pip back since you got the double play. Brings up Andre Ethier. No threat to bunt. Spinning Andre. That's a B. Spinning Andre Ethier. Look at that. What do you get? Boom! Home run. So the rabbits give up a home run to the tortoise. There it is. And they do it long ball style. They did the dash. They did the trot. But all have the same result. It's 1-1. That's pretty cool stuff, isn't it? Ryan Howard's up. Whew, this is a great game. 1-1. Spinning Corcoran. That is a minus home run. Could have used that just a minute ago. Spinning Howard. And he gets a 6. That's a ground ball up the middle. If it lands on the shortstop, it does not. That's error spin. Sorry, my guys, that's an error spin. Does not an error. Now the location. Not on the shortstop. That is 3 outs. But in the top of the 6th, the new boys score 1. 1-1, guys. 1-1. 1-1. That brings up Mike Griffin. Griffin is the center fielder. He's a 355 plus. Infielders will be in at first and third. Spinning Danny Herron in his 6th inning of work. He spins a B. Mike Griffin batting second hole spins. An infield pop-up. He does have 1 respin, and here in the 6th inning, Mike Griffin is going to use his respin right now. Spinning Mike Griffin. His respin's a 12. That's an opposite field grounder. He bats left, so it goes over here. Error spin first. Not an error. Now if it lands on third base, that's a single. It does not, so that is 1 out. Brings up George Wood. George Wood. George Wood. Wood not Wood. You see Wood. Infield's in at the corners again. Spinning the pitcher. That's a big old K from Danny Herron. Strikeout number 5. That brings up Mike Tiernon. Tiernon is a 255 plus. Infield's in at the corners again. Spinning Danny Herron. And you get a B this time. Boy, it's close to that K. Spinning Tiernon. Tiernon spins a 4. Fly ball. Error spin. And you have not an error. Well, it was close though, wasn't it? We were right there almost, weren't we? That's not an error though. That's 3 outs. You know, if I'd have had the card in there right. But you have it what it is. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is when you spin it. That's the way it is. No runs. Tie score after 6. We go to the 7th inning. Corcoran is a 9. Plus 2 respins, has not used a respin yet. Still 1-1. Nick Swisher, not a bunt threat. Spinning the pitcher. B. Spinning Nicky. What do you got there? Looks like an 8-11 line, okay? On an 8-11 line, is that a line or is that an 11? Let me look real close. See how I'm doing this? Because it's about 6 feet away from me. I'm going with the 8, that's an 11. That's a double. Going to use a respin. Swisher spins again. So let's move that where it goes. There you go. Swish. This time he spins a 13. Single. So the respin pays off a little bit. Swisher's a 0-0 runner. Pays off a little bit, takes a base away anyway. Brings up B.J. Upton, who's a sack 145. They'll not even hold the runner, play behind him. Spinning Corcoran. They spin a HW minus. That means if Upton gets a hit or a walk, he must respin. Spinning Upton. A 10 is not a hit or a walk. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 9 for Corcoran. 1 out, runner on first. That brings up Casey McGehee. Spinning, not holding the runner, spinning the pitcher. That is a B. Spinning McGehee. Spinning him, and he gets a look at that. You got, boy, it just snuck in there. That's just, no, boy. Now, I don't know how you guys call it at home. That is so close. Look at that. The outer part of the spinner is on the line, but the inner part of that spinner and most of the spinner's on the 1. He went yard. That's a home run, guys. You can dispute it all you want, but guys, that's a home run. Home run. Now, I don't know why I took those off of there, so I need to count them up. He started with 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. He's down to 6. I moved the wrong one off of there. I should have moved the 1 instead of 6. He's down to 6 pips. That's a home run. That's a 2-run homer. And that's going to get some bullpen activity going. We're going to get up a pitcher, Hall of Famer Hank O'Day. O'Day is a 9+0. And he's going to be up there, right there. And he is actually in the Hall of Fame as an umpire, not as a player, but still a Hall of Famer. Okay, so a home run puts the Sabermetric team in the lead 3-1. That brings up Giovanni Soto spinning Corcoran. Corcoran spins a B. Spinning Corcoran, spinning Soto, that's a 7, that's a single. Let it ride. Here in the 7th inning, Corcoran's getting rocked. Soto's a 0-0. Okay, that brings up Ruben Tejada. Not holding the runner, spinning Larry Corcoran. Home run minus to Tejada. That's a walk. And yes, they're rocking Corcoran in this inning. Second walk he's given up. Tejada's a 1-3. 9's a walk. You can read it right up there on the deal. Brings up Pedroia. Infield's back for Pedroia, spinning the pitcher. That's a G, that's a ground ball. Pedroia has no respins. Spinning the ground ball card with 1 out. The ground ball is to the first baseman, okay? First baseman is, let's find out who he is. He is Tommy Tucker. He's a 4-3. Let's spin the ground ball card. And it lands on a 4-2. So Tucker gets to choose between the A or the F. He's going there no matter what. He'll take the force at second. Pedroia will be out at first. Safe at first. So you have a 3-5 there, and they just pretty much change places. So you have runners at first and third with 2 outs. Brings up Ryan Braun. Holding Pedroia, spinning the pitcher. A B to Braun. Spinning Ryan. And what do you got? That one's sitting smack on the line, guys. That one is sitting smack on the line. And smack on the line, you got a right-handed pitcher, a right-handed batter are going to take the strikeout. However, the team over here is going to challenge the call on the field. I love challenging 110 lines. Gentry hates it, but I love it. All right, this is the challenge spin. This is instant replay. They get a 1. They can't win. Call on the field is going to stand or be confirmed. The call on the field stands. Okay, even though both of them spun a 1. If it's a tie, the person being challenged wins. If they would have spun higher, then the call on the field is correct. A tie, the call on the field stands. On the other way would be overturned, and it's not. The reason we did our research, and 45% of the time, the call on the field is correct or stands. Strikeout number 10, 2-run score in the 7th, and the score is 3-1 after 6.5. He's down to 4 pips, 1 respin. Heron's got 4 pips, but he is an S6, okay? Let me show you his card. He's an S6. You see that right there. So beginning in the 7th inning, I must test him for fatigue. He's gone his 6th, but he's now in the 7th, so he could actually get tired right now. So we're going to test him for fatigue. To do that, we take the event card, which you guys a lot of times call the injury card, which we used to call it that. Mine are laminated, so I haven't fixed them yet. We're going to take this and we're going to spin it. 1 time for a starter, 2 times for relievers. He's a starting pitcher, started the game, makes him a starting pitcher. If it lands on the number of pips he has or less, he is not fatigued. So a 4, 3, 2, or 1, Heron is fine. On a 5, 6, or higher, he is fatigued. If I spin this, he must, even if he's fatigued, he must face at least one batter. So we're going to spin it and take our chance. We got a 2. Danny Herron is cruising, baby. He is cruising right along, not tired. Okay? Brings up Tom Brown, 355 plus. Infield's in at the corners. Tom Brown is going to drag bunts. Bam. Sack 3, he gets to choose between F and G. G is ball on the ground, that's what he'll take. Now I go to the inner circle. They're in at the corners. He gets the result of, right there in the middle of it, S5A3. S5A3. He's an S5A5 plus. That is his choice between safe or out. He's going to take safe. Herron drops to 3 pips. 55 plus is safe at first base. And we have a drag bunt single off of Danny Herron by Tom Brown, who is now 2 for 3 with a strikeout. 5th hit given up by Herron. Tom Brown's on base. Pip's done. 55 up. Billy Nash at 243. They're going to hold him on and not play in at third. He is not going to bunt. He is going to steal a base. Stealing second, 55 plus. That's on the error. Okay, so he goes to second. The ball shoots into center field. He goes to third on the play. So you have an SB, E2, and that is Soto. Okay. Take my stealing bases card out. Now we have a runner on third. Billy Nash is the batter with nobody out. Infield will play back. So Nash could drag bunt because there's nobody in. That'd be foolish not to. The runner on a drag bunt, I mean, this is just like a sack bunt. You're not going to, I'm going to put the ball in play. Neither one of them are in. If that lands on the first or third baseman or a fielder, since they're not in, they are not in. If it lands on that fielder, that's a base hit or a ball on the ground. Let's see what happens. Sack 3, that ball's down, guys. That ball's down. He's going to score. Fine, here we go. What happens here? Lands on the O line between the first base and the line. Well, first base is back, so the team over here is going to choose the first base because he's back and choose between O and S. And that's going to be a bunt single. So that's a run, a hit. Not an earned run. Okay, so now we have another pip off of him. Billy Nash is a 43. And that brings up Tommy Tucker, a 144. Soto's only a 42. You can run with him. Bullpen's hot. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Liriano is warmed up. Corcoran's out there looking good. Man, what a ball game. They're going to send the runner on a straight-up hit and run. The runner's being held. They're going to hit and run. Spinning this hit and run. Batter misses pitch. Well, now they're going to have to try to steal second. So 43 is now 41 because we're holding him. His A rating drops 1. We get S5A3. He is caught stealing. He loses both of them. So Soto throws his second runner out. We're going to give a pip back to Danny Herron. He's out. Tommy Tucker is up to bat. Spin the pitcher. Spin the batter. And what do we get? We get a 4-10 line. Bats both. They'll take the 4. Error spin. Not an error. 2 outs. Joe Quinn, the the second baseman. 342 in at the corners, spinning Dan Herron. You get a walk minus, spinning Joe Quinn. Fly ball, error spin. And it's on the not error, so that is 3 outs, but 1 run scores. After 7 complete innings, the score 3-2 in favor of the old guy, in favor of the new guys. 3-2 ball game. Okay, Corcoran's still going strong. Ethier is now in the ball game, batting. Spin the pitcher, no threat to bunt. What do you got? You got a GX line, right-hander, left-hander. Can't use a respin on an X. He's choosing the X. Corcoran's going to challenge the call. He says, man, that didn't hit him. We're going to challenge that call. Now remember, the new guys lost their challenge. This is the old guys' challenge. They get a 2. So the only thing that loses is a 1. 10 doesn't lose. The call on the field is correct. That's a hit batter. So Ethier, who homered last time, gets hit by a pitch. Second hit batter, given up by Corcoran. Ethier is a 1-1. Now, in a normal game where I had lots of subs and all that kind of stuff, I would right now, because he hit a home run, I would issue a warning to both benches. Next hit batter, pitcher's done. Just like when you watched our Facebook Live with Gentry and I. Lose a pip. Okay. Brings up Rhino Howard. All right. Not going to hold the runner. Going to play behind him. Ethier's no run threat. Spin the pitcher. Corcoran spins. A B to Ryan Howard. Oh, boy. Spinning Ryan. Look at that. He launches it. So the Sabermetric team does what they do best. Take you deep. That's how this game is played in today's era. 6th hit given up, 5 runs. That is the 3rd home run given up by Corcoran. 2 runs and a solo. It's down to 2 pips. Swisher's up, no threat to bunt. Corcoran spins and gets a B. Swisher, strikeout, 1 out. Strikeout number 11 for Corcoran. Corcoran's turning into basically a sabermetric pitcher in this game with 11 strikeouts, giving up 3 yards. He's gone 6 hits, 2 walks. He's only given up 8 base runners in 8 innings. That's a 1.0 whip, which is amazing. He's given up 5 runs. 1 out. You got B.J. Upton, no threat to bunt, spinning Corcoran. Home run minus, spinning B.J. That is an 8, spinning the outfield card for the error spin. Not an error, 2 away. Upton struck out 3 times, finally got some contact that did him no good. McGehee homered last time, spinning Corcoran. What do you got? That's a wild pitch. Strikeout gets him to first. Strikeout, wild pitch. Strikeout number 12, wild pitch number 2, hit batter number 2. He is just everywhere, boys. Okay. Brings up Giovanni Soto. More bullpen activity coming up. Now they're going to have 2 guys warming up. We're going to put Sadie McMahon out in the bullpen. And he's Sunday best. Soto's batting. Spin the pitcher. Not holding the runner. That's a G, no respins there. That's 3 outs. But 2 runs cross. And the score is Sabermetrics 5, pre-1900 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And that's going to do it for Dan Herron. They're not going to chance that he's going to do it. They're going to bring in Francisco Liriano. Liriano is a 6-0. So 7 for Heron. He gets up 6 pips. Nice and strong. They're going to get Papelbon up in the bullpen and get him ready for the 9th inning. Okay. Everybody's loose. It looks like everybody's going to get to play this game, I bet. Batting now, the catcher, Tom Kinslow. He's no threat to bunt. Liriano pitches. And his first batter he pitches to is a strikeout. Strikeout number 1. That brings up Ed McKeon. McKeon is a 345 plus infield will play in. He's going to try to get on base. At a 5-2 ball game, you got to do something, even if it's wrong. He's going in. Spinning. Ball's on the ground, 350, 45 plus. Inner circle. That lands on the O. He is out, ground out. 2 down. Mike Griffin has already used his respin. Spinning, the infield will be in for Griffin. He's a 355 plus. Infield's in at the corners for Griffin. Spin the pitcher. You get an H minus. Here we go. 2 is a ground ball. It's pulled. Error spin. It is not an error. If it lands on the first baseman, it is a single. And it lands on the third baseman. So it's not a single. That is 3 outs. No runs. We are in the 9th inning. That's going to do it for Corcoran. Pitched a good game, pitched 8 innings. But we're going to bring in Sadie McMahon. Sadie McMahon is a 9-2. That gives him 11 pips. With 2 respins. He's going to face Ruben Tejada. 2-1-3. Nobody's going to hold anybody moving in. Sadie McMahon spins. And that's a B. Spin the batter. Spinning Tejada. It's a 14 infield pop-up. Routine. 1 down. Brings up Dustin Pedroia. Spinning McMahon. That's a B. Spinning Pedroia. That's a 6. Error spin. Not an error. If it lands on the shortstop, it's a single. And does not. Lands on the second baseman. 2 up, 2 down. McMahon spins to Ryan Braun. Ground ball. Error spin. Not an error. 3 up, 3 down. Isn't that a cool picture of Ryan Braun with the bat flip? That's sharp. Now that he's retired, we can do that for him. Okay. We are in the 9th bottom of. We're going to change pitchers. Liriano gets his 1 inning in. And they're going to bring in Papelbon. Jonathan Papelbon is a 1-4. Gives him 5 pips, 4 respins. And that's pretty imposing with 1 inning to go, you know. That's what a closer is. That's your quality, superb, almost Hall of Fame, really good. I don't want to bat against this guy, closer. And you can see, look at the card, man. He's got an F, he's got a G, a minus home run, an HW minus, a hit minus, a monstrous K. And he's 13 points. He's a 1 inning pitcher. 1 inning pitcher. Okay. Here we go. We got 3, 4, 5 coming up here. Sack 245. In at first and third. And they're going to do everything they can not to let Jonathan Papelbon spin. And at the corners, drag bunt. Oh, there ain't no doubt about that. That's an out. One up, one down. Looks like he bunted it right back to the pitcher. Okay, one up, one down. That brings up Mike Tiernon. 255 plus, and at the corners again. They're going to try to lay it down again. Oops, pulling back a little bit. Just when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in. Spinning the drag bunt card. Sack one, foul ball, spin the pitcher. That's an F. Spinning Papelbon. He spins an F. Tiernon will make him respin using his respin. So he's got one. Makes him respin that. Spinning Papelbon. Spins an F again. Outfield error spin. Not an error. Two up, two down. Papelbon being the man. Tom Brown is up now. Tom Brown is a center field 1-5, but he's a 355 plus. Infield's in at the corners. Gonna try to lay it down again. Got to get something going here, guys. You got to get guys on base. You can't score if you don't get on. Spinning. That ball's on the ground. Spinning again. 3B. Look at this. Okay. 3B 43. Their third baseman is a 31, Casey McGehee. Offense chooses between safe and out. They choose the safe. That is a base hit for Tom Brown, who's a 55 plus. Papelbon gives up a bunt single. Third hit for Tom Brown. Papelbon loses a pit. Okay. That brings up Billy Nash. Nash is the third baseman. He's a 243. In at the corners, Nash is going to try to straight hit and run. A straight hit and run. Spinning. Foul ball, spin the pitcher. Spinning Papelbon. And guys, this game is in the books. Papelbon strikes out the batter. Third out. No runs. Final score, 5-2. Whew, all right. Well, there you have it, guys. Final score, 5-2. I take my cards and now put them away. That's what I do. Get stuff off the board, clean it up a little bit. And we're going to talk a little bit about the game. See if you guys have questions. You can post them in the questions and comments. No problem. Be happy to answer them. If you put them in there, I'll be glad to do it. Take this off of here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put me back here because this one's over. All right. There it is. That's the end of the game. It was a 5-2 ball game. I've got, let me give you a quick rundown of what happened. For the Sabermetric team, they had 5 runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 homers. They were hit by a pitch twice, 2 wild pitches that resulted in strikeout, go to first base. Pretty crazy stuff right there. Okay. But 3 homers did it. A home run by Ethier in the 6th, a home run by McGehee in the 7th, and a home run by Howard in the 8th did them in. I mean, and that's how the game's played today. It's efficiency. It's all about efficiency. And that long ball changes the game. I mean, we had rabbits on the whole dadgum game. I mean, we had runners on base all the time. Herron gave up 6 hits, struck out 5, and gets the victory. Hey, man, Corcoran pitched a great game, but got careless twice with men on base, giving up the long ball. The guy struck out 12 in 8 innings. He only allowed 8 base runners in 8 innings. That's a 1.0 whip. That's amazing. But the big ball, man, the long ball, that changes the game. So all you guys that like the romance of the old style, action-packed, put the ball on the ground, put it in play. That's a wonderful thing. Heron and Papelbon and Liriano are strikeout pitchers, and yet they only struck out 7 in the 9 innings because these guys just don't strike out. They put the ball in play. Putting the ball in play requires more and more and more contact, more and more and more base runners, and sooner or later, you've got to get the hit. You have to get the hit that makes the difference, and they couldn't do it in the clutch. They left runners on base, left them on there a lot, could not get the big hit, and the big pitchers shut them down. On the other hand, man, when you go over here and you look at the Sabermetric team, guys, I'm just going to tell you right up. I was doing the points just the other day of both of these teams. Let me shrink myself back down here, get in my little hole here where I belong, okay? Go back over here where I belong so you guys can see me here. If you add the points up, this is the 12 guys. You got 12 points, and 5 is 17, and 2 is 19, plus 3 is 22, plus 2 is 24, plus 2 is 26, plus 1 is 27, plus 12 is 39, plus 15 is 54, plus 7 is 61, plus 6 is 67, plus 2 is 69 points. This team with 12 players is 69 points. The Sabermetric team, the efficient team, 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 0 is 14, plus 2 is 16, plus 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20, plus 7 is 27, plus 13 is 40, plus 0 is 40, plus 9 is 49. So this team outpoints this team. But this team goes yard with a 0-point guy. I think Soto, let me look here, but I'm pretty sure Soto's nothing. Soto went deep, he's 2 points. That's a 2-point card that put them in the lead to stay. I'm telling you, these new guys, man, that is the way it's played today. That's the evolution of baseball. That's the way that it is. And I mean, you guys can complain about it and say, oh, it was better back then. Well, they sure wouldn't beat the teams of today, I don't think. I don't think that those old teams would have a chance against these new teams, guys. I just really don't. Now, the new stuff's out. Let me just tell you a little bit about Star Power Baseball before I go. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. Star Power Baseball now has the new catalog out. If you haven't got your catalog, you need to get a hold of me at warhammerworld@hotmail.com so that I can mail you out a catalog. They only cost, I think they're $18 for a new catalog. 150 pages of stories and pictures and cards. It's a book more than just a catalog. It's a book, but it does have all the available cards that you can get. And with your first $100 purchase, that $18 is refunded to you, so you get like $100 worth of stuff. Let's say you buy a game that normally is $99, take $18 off, it's $81. So there you go. The new Star Power Baseball cards that are out are the 2 new sets that I just got done playing. Sabermetric set number 4 and pre-1900 set 7. Those are both out right now. I hope you enjoyed this because this was a fun game. Did not take very long at all, and I played the thorough game. That means these new 12 cards, by the way, each of these sets right here is $5 a pop unless you get them on the photo paper, and then there's $6 a pop, 50 cents a card in photo quality, and less than 50 cents a card if you get them in the basic cardstock, which most people like. They like the basic cardstock. It's easier to manipulate. I like playing with the photo quality because I like the pictures better. I'm just that kind of guy, man. And because I print them, that's what I use. All you guys out there, we want to thank you for being a patron. We love it. We got podcasts out. We've got Facebook Live coming up soon. The brand new Star Power Baseball game for 2023 will be released in October. We've already worked on the game board. We've got a brand new box coming out. So you know how we love it that you get to put the sticker on and it looks really cool and people really like the sticker on top of the box. The new boxes will be printed. There will be no more stickers. The new cards that will be in there will all be photo quality, except for the strategy cards. They're not going to be photo quality because you're going to be using them all the time. You don't want to smudge them. The card holders are no longer available in games. Nobody wanted to buy them. These little deals right here. These little deals right here. We didn't sell but maybe 20 of these out of the 500 that I bought, so I'm sitting on about 1,000 boxes of these things. I've got a case of this stuff. I love them. I use them all the time. I usually use 12 in a game. 12 of these in a game. That's what it takes. What else is coming up? Okay, we got the podcast out. Facebook Live has been good. The Facebook page is active. We're on Tabletop Baseball, Baseball Gaming Extravaganza, Sim Addicts, and Catico. We're on all 4 of those pages every day. I post something every day on those other 4 pages. Thanks to Earl Shamblin for putting us out there. And we sold a few games because of Earl out there and sold a few catalogs because of you, Earl. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Muddy got out of the hospital. He is back in East Islip, New York now, recovering in the rehab place. And the last time I talked to him was day before yesterday, and he sounded like his pneumonia is pretty much behind him, and he's sitting in the rehab. He's got to stay there for a few months to make sure. His eyesight's not very good, but he still can see pretty well some days, and some days he has other days. Robert Mansfield just got a new game for his church out there. He's showing some people how to play. He's got 5 or 6 interested people, so we sent him out a brand new game. Nick out in California, we love you. He's trying to send me guys from pre-1900 that I don't know about so I can make more sets of that, which, yeah, that's all I want to do is make more cards, which I'm going to do. Gentry's giving me information on the new sabermetrics. And here, let me show you something real quick here, guys. I'm going to show you a card over here. Let me find it. I'm going to show you a card that Gentry did that rocks. This is the new Hall of Fame cards by Gentry. Now, let me pull that over here. Make that a little bit bigger for you to see. Those are new Hall of Fame cards by Gentry. What do you think? Pretty sporty. Okay, now he also did, here's another one that he did. That's a Hall of Fame card. Let me pull the all-time teams up. And I should have all-time Gentry teams in here. Let me find it here. Let me find it. Boy, this is hard to do here. I know you guys are getting bored with me, but I'm going to find it. All-time teams. Do I have the Gentry all-time teams in the all-time teams? No, I wonder where I put it. Okay. Let me find it here. Customer list, greatest teams. Let's go back a little bit. Gentry teams, there you go. Hall of Fame. Okay, where's the other one for him? No, I don't see it, but he's got new cards. Let me look on my search here. All-time Orioles. All-time Orioles. Deluxe setbacks. Deluxe set fronts. Deluxe setbacks. Okay, let's go back here and go to the deluxe set fronts. Okay, here you go. What do you think of that? That's the new all-time Orioles cards. That's what's going to be coming out next time we do a release, man. That's what's going to be coming out. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you guys can actually see the whole card there. Let me do that for you. There it is. That's the all-time Orioles. You can see the new thing we're doing there. That's what's coming up for us, guys. That's the new stuff that we're doing right now. We're doing all kinds of cool stuff for you. So anyway, keep with us. Anyway, I'm boring you to death. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. That's my privilege. I'm on the video. You guys got questions, shoot them to me. It's been fun playing the game for you from the Cincinnati Razorback room. And as a big friend of mine up in New York, old Gabe says, dice are nice, man. The dice are nice, but the spin is in. See you next time on Star Power Baseball.